Welcome to Inside the Pickle Jar, a podcast where we dive into the wonderfully quirky world of neurodiversity. I'm Tonya Weaver, your friendly neighborhood relationship coach specializing in neurodiverse individuals and neurodivergent myself. From communication tips to managing those "did you really just say that" moments, every episode will share real-life stories, expert advice, and practical strategies to help you tackle obstacles and build stronger, more fulfilling connections. Listen on to Inside the Pickle Jar, where every connection matters, every pickle has its place. Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about how to ask for what you want, especially if you're neurodivergent. This episode is going to be packed with tips and insights to help you communicate your needs confidently and effectively. So let's get started. First, I just want to remind everyone who's listening to this, in case you haven't heard the previous episodes, I'm just going to define neurodivergence really briefly. Neurodivergence refers to the diversity of human brains and minds, and it will include conditions such as ADHD, autism, dyslexia, synesthesia, dyspraxia, and more. And these differences can affect how individuals process information, interact with others, and communicate their needs. So for neurodivergent individuals, asking for what they need can sometimes be challenging due to unique communication styles and potential sensory or social difficulties. But with the right strategies, it is possible to advocate for yourself effectively. And sometimes it's because of sensory overload. If you think about a crowded, noisy room, for some neurodivergent individuals, the noise can be overwhelming. Communicating in this environment can be particularly challenging because the sensory overload makes it hard to focus on the conversation or express needs clearly. I know I have a problem in a room where if there are lots of noises, it doesn't matter if it's crunching ice or if someone talking loud or a band in the background, all the noises are the same level for me. And so I tend to talk way too loud, thinking I have to overcome noises that are really not as loud as my neurotypical friends can perceive. So also some of the ways that miscommunication is a problem for the neurodivergent is related to missing social cues. Social interactions often come with unspoken rules and cues. For someone with autism, interpreting these can be tough. They might struggle to understand if it's the right time to speak up, which can hinder them from asking for what they need. Those that are neurodivergent have very unique communication styles sometimes. And for some of those, like myself on the spectrum, it's kind of typical. So individuals with ADHD might have a more spontaneous communication style. And in structured meetings, this spontaneity might come across as disorganized. And that makes it hard for them to effectively convey their needs or to even be taken seriously. So there's a big importance around self-advocacy. Self-advocacy is the ability to speak up for yourself and your needs. It's a crucial skill for everyone, but especially for neurodivergent individuals. When you can express clearly what you need, you're more likely to receive the support and accommodations that help you thrive. Remember, advocating for yourself isn't about being demanding. It's about ensuring you have what you need to succeed. It's a sign of self-awareness and strength. The importance of self-advocacy can't be overstated. It's about having the confidence to stand up for your rights and communicate your needs effectively. This is essential for everyone, but especially for neurodivergent individuals who might face additional challenges in environments that aren't always accommodating. With strong self-advocacy skills, you're more likely to receive the support and accommodations necessary to thrive in different aspects of life, whether that's in education, the workplace, or personal relationships. It's also about fostering a sense of independence and self-reliance, knowing that you have the ability to take charge of your own circumstances. So self-advocacy empowers individuals to make informed decisions about their lives, seek out resources and opportunities, and build self-confidence. It's a cornerstone of personal growth and a pathway to living a more fulfilled and autonomous life. So, in short, it's not just a skill, it's a form of empowerment. It gives you a sense of control over your own life, knowing that you have the ability to speak up for your needs and rights, and then seeing positive changes as a result of that. That can be incredibly validating. It's like realizing you have the steering wheel in your hands and you can drive your life in the direction you choose. And for a lot of neurodivergent people, it can sometimes feel like you don't have any control. A lot of times I felt like my own life and choices in my life were made for me or in spite of me, not realizing I could say what I actually needed. I was so worried about being accepted and just having a friend that I usually acquiesced and would give in to what everybody else wanted to do, especially in a group setting. So let's talk about how we can build these skills. First, there's the preparing to ask. Preparation is key when it comes to asking for what you need. Start by identifying your specific needs just to yourself. What accommodations or support will help you perform better? Write these down to clarify your thoughts. Figuring out what you need when advocating for yourself begins with self reflection. Start by asking yourself where you face the most challenges and what situations cause the most stress or difficulty. Note the patterns. For instance, do you struggle with focus in noisy environments, like I said I did? Or perhaps you find written instructions easier to follow than verbal ones. I know that the times that I have really struggled in completing a verbal task given to me is because I didn't understand the question. The answer seemed easy enough, but it didn't seem to match the question. And I was always too embarrassed to go back and ask any clarifying questions. This only caused me more problems down the road because I didn't deliver on the answer that was needed. It's far better to ask clarifying questions at the time and the beginning than it is to deliver a bad product. I've learned a lot over the years, and if you would like coaching on how to work through this for yourself, please reach out on risingtidecoaching.org. I've been there, I know what it's like, and I know how to make it better. So, next, think about the times when you've been successful. What conditions or supports were in place then? This can give you clues about what accommodations might do to help you. You might find that having a quiet workspace or clear written instructions significantly boosts your productivity. You might also ask for guidance on who has solved a similar question. I always felt like I had to invent the wheel over again. Instead, find help and support from those who have had some prior successes. And speaking of consulting with others, consulting with professionals can also provide valuable insights. Therapists, coaches, or healthcare providers, they can offer recommendations based on their observations and expertise. They might suggest specific strategies or tools that could make a difference. Once you have a clear picture, write down your needs and any supporting information. This could include documentation from professionals, examples of past successes, or specific accommodations you're requesting. Self advocacy is about knowing yourself and being able to communicate those needs effectively. The more precise and informed you are, the better you can articulate what you need to thrive. Next, gather any necessary information or documentation that supports your request, including like the diagnosis recommendation I just made earlier. And if it involves things you need to be more focused or productive, this could be that diagnosis, recommendations from a healthcare provider, or examples of how certain accommodations have helped you. If it involves a project that you're working on or a problem you're solving, reach out to coworkers to find out what they used to be successful, like data, maybe education on a software tool, or another way to do analysis that you didn't know about. So then we're going to talk about effective communication strategies. So you figured out now what you need to be successful, either at your job or for a specific project or problem you're trying to solve, and you've gotten enough courage to ask for it. This is where the most important part comes in: clear and concise communication. This is crucial. Here are some strategies to help you express your needs effectively. So be specific. Clearly state what you need. Instead of saying, I need help, say, I need a quieter workspace to focus better. Or what you're needing is clarity on the instructions. Write out what you do understand about the problem statement, and then write down some key questions that would help you get more clarity about the problem, or help you figure out why you don't comprehend the problem at all. Then explain the benefits. Highlight how the accommodation will help you perform better and benefit the team or organization. For example, quieter workspace will help me concentrate, allowing me to complete tasks more efficiently. If it's about working through the problem statement, explain why what they said didn't make sense to you and how you don't want to waste time going down a wrong path and solving the wrong thing. This will go a long way towards cleaning up communication down the road. Now, stay calm and professional. Be sure you approach the conversation with a calm and professional demeanor. Use I statements to express how the accommodation will help you. So here's why. Staying calm and professional when advocating for yourself can make a significant difference in how your request is received. Approaching the conversation with a level head ensures that you communicate clearly and effectively, reducing the chances of misunderstandings or defensiveness, and most importantly, it helps you stay calm. However, if you're spending so much energy and effort in trying to stay calm while having the conversation, can detract from your ability to deliver what you're trying to say. That's why it's very important to write everything down and practice what you want to say, especially if it's very important to you and your work and your employment. I know that when I didn't follow these steps and I was approaching somebody that I needed help from, I would get flustered, I would get confused, I wouldn't be able to articulate what my needs were or what the problem was that in my misunderstanding. So it's very important to take this practice step and write everything down. And the using I statements part is particularly powerful. It focuses on your experience without blaming or accusing others. For example, instead of saying, you never give me quiet time, you could say, I find that I can concentrate much better when I have a quiet workspace. This approach also minimizes defensiveness and makes it easier for the other person to understand and empathize with your needs. Maintaining a professional demeanor also means being respectful and polite, even if you're frustrated. Keeping a calm tone and using positive body language can help keep the conversation productive and collaborative. Remember, the goal is to find a solution that works for everyone, and approaching the discussion professionally sets the right tone for achieving that outcome. So, how do you handle different responses? Sometimes you may not get an immediate yes to your request. That's okay. Here are some ways to handle different responses. If you receive positive response, express your gratitude and work with your supervisor or colleagues to implement the accommodation. Keep checking in, sending reminding emails or notes, or having a discussion as the steps get followed through in order to meet your needs. If you receive a negative response, ask for feedback on why the request was denied and if there are alternative solutions. Sometimes adjustments can be made to find a compromise. And if you receive no response at all, just follow up with a polite reminder. Persistence is key, but always remain respectful. So, this will all help build confidence and resilience. If you received a positive response, just go back, like I said, and express that gratitude. Always thank the person for considering your accommodating your request. Gratitude fosters positive relationships and encourages future support. Just say, thank you so much for understanding and supporting my needs. And then implement this together. Work collaboratively with your supervisor or colleagues to implement the accommodation. Discuss next steps and any necessary adjustments to ensure the support is effective and sustainable. And it's always essential to understand if that request got denied, that you get specifics and helping to understand that. Engage in a constructive dialogue And maybe you say, is there another way we can address this issue? And then back to, if you receive no response, just ask for follow-up. Persistence with respect. So sometimes you'll get a mixed or a neutral response. It's important that you clarify the ambiguities. If the response is mixed or non-committal, seek clarification. Ask open-ended questions to understand better what they are willing to offer and where the hesitations lie. Like, I noticed there were some concerns. Can we discuss this further to find a possible solution? Remember, advocating for yourself is about ensuring your needs are met so you can thrive. Each response is an opportunity to refine your approach and find the best way forward. Stay positive, flexible, and respectful, and you're more likely to achieve and find a favorable outcome. By understanding and preparing for different types of responses, you can navigate the process of advocating for your needs more effectively and with greater confidence. It's all part of building a supportive and accommodating environment that helps everyone succeed. And so, as you're writing down some of the things that you know that you need and getting the documentation, and then being able to provide good reasons for why this is good for you and good for the company, also write down what your responses might be or your reactions might be if you receive one of these differing responses, because you just never know. A lot of times you'll just only anticipate a positive response or only a negative one and not have in your head or having practiced some of the other alternatives that you might get. So it's okay to ask for what you need, especially if you're neurodivergent. And it does take courage and confidence. Remember, it's okay to advocate for yourself. And here are some tips to help continue building that confidence and resilience. Practice makes perfect. The more you practice asking for what you need, the more comfortable you'll become. Start with smaller requests and build up to larger ones. And then seek support. Reach out to mentors, support groups, or friends who understand your challenges and can offer advice and encouragement. And then celebrate your successes. Acknowledge and celebrate each time you successfully advocate for yourself. This is regardless of the response that you get in return. Remember, just standing up for yourself is super important. And each success builds your confidence and reinforces your ability to communicate effectively. So I want to share some excerpts from a speech that you can find the whole thing on YouTube, and I'll put all of the links in the show notes. There is a YouTuber called After School, and they created a visual graphic animation to go with this talk I'm going to share with you from Jim Carrey. You can find a link to it in my show notes for the abridged version, or then you can also find the longer version of Jim's speech in my show notes as well. And it's excerpted from Jim Carrey's speech at the Maharishi International University, their graduation in 2014. Jim Carrey, by the way, does identify as neurodiverse, as in an ADHDer. He also suffers from severe depression, which I know is not a neurodiversity diagnosis, but many neurodivergent diagnoses have comorbidities with other mental problems that everyone is working through, and it should be recognized for the complexity it brings. Please listen.
Today, a seed that will inspire you to move forward in life with enthusiastic hearts and a clear sense of wholeness. Now, fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. As someone who's done what you're about to go and do, I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart. That peace that we're after lies somewhere beyond personality, beyond the perception of others, beyond invention and disguise, even beyond effort itself. You can join the game, fight the wars, play with form all you want, but to find real peace, you have to let the armor go. Your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world. Don't let anything stand in the way of the light that shines through this form. Risk being seen in all of your glory, because ultimately, we're not the avatars we create. We're not the pictures on the film stock. We are the light that shines through. All else is just smoke and mirrors, distracting, but not truly compelling. I've often said that I wish people could realize all their dreams and wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. Like many of you, I was concerned about going out into the world and doing something bigger than myself, until someone smarter than myself made me realize that there is nothing bigger than myself. As that shift happens in you, you won't be feeling the world, you'll be felt by it, you'll be embraced by it. The imagination is always manufacturing scenarios, both good and bad, and the ego tries to keep you trapped in the multiplex of the mind. Eyes are not viewers, they're also projectors that are running a second story over the picture that we see in front of us all the time. Fear is writing that script, and a working title is I'll Never Be Enough. This is the voice of the ego. And if you listen to it, there will always be someone who's doing better than you. No matter what you gain, ego will not let you rest. It will tell you that you cannot stop until you've left an indelible mark on the earth, until you've achieved immortality. How tricky is this ego that it would tempt us with the promise of something we already possess? As far as I can tell, it's just about letting the universe know what you want and working toward it while letting go of how it comes to pass. Your job is not to figure out how it's going to happen for you, but to open the door in your head. And when the door opens in real life, just walk through it. And don't worry if you miss your cue, because there's always doors opening. They keep opening. And when I say life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you, I really don't know if that's true. Just making a conscious choice to perceive challenges as something beneficial so that I can deal with them in the most productive way. You'll come up with your own style. That's part of the fun. Oh, and why not take a chance on faith as well? Not religion, but faith. Not hope, but faith. I don't believe in hope. Hope is a beggar. Hope walks through the fire and faith leaps over it. You are ready and able to do beautiful things in this world. And after you walk through those doors today, you will only ever have two choices: love or fear. Choose love, and don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I hope you found his notes, his speech inspiring, and will give you a reason to believe in yourself, to advocate for what you need, to help provide courage and confidence to follow through. I hope that you walk through those doors, that you let your light shine, that you advocate for what you need and keep moving forward, believe in what's possible for you, advocate again what you need, and recognize that you are a light and you're shining for everyone. So just remember that doing this is a vital skill, especially if you're neurodivergent. By preparing, communicating clearly, and handling responses with grace, you can ensure your needs are met and create a more supportive environment for yourself. So that's all for today's episode of Inside the Pickle Jar. We hope you found this discussion on getting your advocating for what you need super helpful. And if you would like more help on this, please feel free to reach out to me for coaching at risingtidecoaching.org. You can find links to Jim Carrey's speech, both the short and long version, in my show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, share it with others who might benefit from our discussion. You can also follow me on social media for more insights and updates. And you can also subscribe to my newsletter called Taco Tuesday. And you'll find exclusive content on and tips and updates that'll come straight to your inbox on time saving opportunities, attitude adjusting, connection tips, and optimizing product suggestions. So it's a great way to stay connected. Again, you can sign up for it at risingtidecoaching.org. So I look forward to sharing more with you. And until next time, stay curious and keep celebrating neurodiversity.